You know what's up. It's Sweet Dan with comic reviews.
You're spending the night with Fred Garvin, male prostitute.
Now it's time for Sweet Talking Comics with Sweet Dan Sweet and Comic Book Man.
You see that little red light there? You know what that means? It means they're watching us.
Is it time?
It's time.
Hey kids, how you doing? Comic Book Man here. Welcome to my video outhouse.
Gotcha.
It's time once again for
Sweet Talking with Sweet Dan Sweet and Comic Book Man and Comic Book Man's Video Outhouse at myalternatereality.com.
Whoa!
I should be like that Micro Machines guy.
And we're coming to you from Alternate Reality, located at the intersection of 111th and Kedzie, beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood. Alternate Reality, where all new comics are 15% off every day for everyone, including folks like you and everybody who bought the book Pilot Season Stealth, which is what this review is all about. This whole review is about Pilot Season Stealth. We may talk a little bit more about Pilot Season up until now, but Pilot Season Stealth. So tell me, it's cool. It's actually not a bad looking costume. How is Pilot Season Stealth?
Pilot Season Stealth is a very cool idea,
Okay.
which suffers from poor pacing. You know what I mean? I don't want to say poor execution, because both the art and Robert Kirkman managed to do a pretty cohesive job of getting the point across.
Okay.
The problem
what's
is,
the point?
The point is Stealth is a superhero who just so happens to be an elderly man suffering from Alzheimer's. Now, I'm not giving away anything,
Okay.
all right, because it's established pretty early on.
Yeah.
The problem from that point is there's no rhyme or reason to what's going on.
Okay.
There's no villain to overcome. Sort of the villain is the Alzheimer's, which is really sort of metaphorical and out there and a sort of abstract. You know what I mean?
So is this a story about a superhero, or is this a story about Alzheimer's, or is this a story about superhero with Alzheimer's, or
I would call it a story about a son whose father is a superhero with Alzheimer's, and sort of the conflict that arises from dealing with that situation, which I can't imagine because I haven't had to go through anything like that with any of my family members, and I'm sure it's tough. But not.
I've had Alzheimer's for years. Hey kids, how you doing? Comic Book Man here. Welcome to my video house.
Who are you?
Have we done this already?
How did you get to my store?
All I know is the pacing seems off.
Yeah.
You get, second page, son finds out about dad. Third page, it's like it never happened.
Yeah.
And it just sort of, I don't know, it feels contrived, it feels forced. This is a story that doesn't benefit from compression. This isn't a one and done.
So this would be worked better if there was more issues?
This would have worked better as a miniseries. I think I think this idea, whether you do 3 issues, you do 4 issues, you do an extended maxi series, whatever, man. This is an idea that could hold some weight. There's the last line of this, and I'm not giving away anything again by ruining it. The father has just pummeled his son into the ground.
Because the son's a bad guy?
No, because he has Alzheimer's and he doesn't know who he is. Okay. And he says he's holding his son because he realizes, oh crap, Alzheimer's. And he says, the men with the light are coming back to fix my brain. Hold on. Yeah. And I'm like, well, that would have been interesting. I want to see that. You know what I mean? And but it's too little, too late to get me to vote for this. Okay. To keep it coming back. This is the 3rd.
So if this had been a 6-issue or 5-issue or 4-issue mini, or even a 3-issue miniseries, this would have been better. This would have been better served than just this one issue cramming all this stuff into one book.
Absolutely, they could have expanded upon the idea.
Yeah.
They could have given you time to digest it. You know what I mean? To say, okay, this guy has Alzheimer's, this is his son, this is how they relate on a daily basis, but now the son knows dad's a superhero. Okay. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it was like just bam, revelation, bam, revelation, bam, revelation, bam, conflict, and it's all internal conflict. Like I said, there's no outright bad guy with a costume who's seeking to take over the world.
Yeah, it's just the old man in his costume.
You know what I mean?
What are his powers, by the way?
It's indeterminate. He has a costume, and he flies with these little weird wings that sort of appear out of nowhere, and for being an old dude, he's surprisingly fit and fickle.
Yeah. Fickle?
All I'm saying is, this is not where the other 2 stories gave you, the first one being murderer, and the second being demonic. Okay. Gave you a complete concept.
You liked Murderer but didn't like Demonic, right?
I loved Murderer. I thought Murderer was phenomenal. Demonic, I could definitely care less about. Okay. But that was more for the story idea than the execution again. I think Murderer just happened to be such a good good idea and a fresh take, and it was a story with a beginning, a middle, and an end, where compression did it no damage whatsoever.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It wasn't. You didn't lose any details. You didn't miss any. Like, there wasn't anything left open to interpretation necessarily.
Okay.
Whereas this is almost all open to interpretation, and it doesn't. It just doesn't grasp my attention the way it should. There are things in there that really intrigue me, and like I said, I'd love to see it expanded upon in the right way.
You know, as goofy as something like a superhero with Alzheimer's sounds, and it does sound kind of goofy, but I have read the story, and it actually is interesting. But yeah, what you're saying is true. It is very choppy. It's very choppy. It looks like, well, here's the second issue plot point, and we're going to dump it on page 6.
Yeah.
And here's the third issue plot point, and that comes in for all of page 3. And you know, there isn't a lot there to smooth it out from page to page, at least the way it reads. But what I was getting at is, we've talked before about bringing different people into comics, bringing more women, bringing more minorities, bringing more other folks into comics by doing stories about them. Not that I'm saying that this will bring the elderly into comics, but there is something to be said for different types of storylines on not so much issues, but different themes that can be done beyond what we're all used to in comics.
You know.
And this could be one of them. This could be one of them.
Kirkman's a great writer. This isn't the first time he's written about old dudes fighting crime and stuff like that. Destroyer for Marvel Max being a phenomenal series. He's done it over in his own Image stuff with Battle Pope and I think Brick. Yeah. So I mean, he likes the idea of elderly guys, badass crime fighters, stuff like that. I'm all for it. Like I said, great idea.
Yeah.
Not the best pacing, which led to a poor reading experience.
So maybe if Mr. Kirkman, and all these things are pilots because they're called pilot season, all these things are trial balloons for possible series down the road, maybe Mr. Kirkman might want to think about taking this and actually maybe expanding on it with a mini-series.
I'd love it.
At some point down the road, or maybe working him into one of his other series as a regular character.
Absolutely. Just as a side note, this is, I believe, the 3rd year of pilot season.
Yeah, I think so.
And they're just now starting to advertise the book from the winner of the first pilot season. So if you guys are Velocity fans,
if you're sitting by the phone waiting for it.
Yeah, seriously. Velocity is finally going to come out, which means look for the winner of this pilot season in about 2013.
Okay, well, there you go. So, and by then he'll be dead, the character.
Not me.
No, the character. I mean,
I'll be alive.
He's an old guy, and he'll be in a home.
I'll be 30.
He'll be in a home drooling on himself if he's not dead. Anyway, that's it. We're done. We're finished. We're out of here. Pilot season, Stealth is interesting to pick up. May not be greatest.
You're not going to read it more than once.
But you know what? You might read it and say to yourself, that was an interesting
Maybe
book.
you'll write the Stealth miniseries that I want to read one day. Okay. Do it. Do it.
So, you can read his review of this book along with all of his other reviews at the store's website. And where's the store's website at? Sarah knows, and she's always had Alzheimer's, and she's only like 19.
www.myalternatereality.com. You know, I've never actually been there.
So stop off at the store's website, check out all of Dan's reviews, and until next time, this is Comic Book Man.
And this is Dan.
Saying, bye! This month's Hero of the Month sale at Alternate Reality is...
I am Iron Man.
And War Machine and Natasha Romanoff. I hear there's a movie coming out for the 3 of them. Anyway, if you stop down at the store all this month, 25% off all of my Iron Man trades, all my War Machine trades, all my Natasha Romanoff trades, whether they're Masterworks, whether they're softcovers, whether they're hardcovers, every trade I've got in the store, 25% off all month long. Now, some of you might be wondering, who's Natasha Romanoff? I saw her in the movie, but who is she? Black Widow! 25% off all month long here at Alternate Reality.